All right, so I have some notes. I just turned the camera and the mic on, and we're going to discuss a little more of my evolution. I figured out at the close of 2024 that for that time, I lost a sense of myself. Sometimes you forget who you are when you are changing, when things are evolving. When you are embarking on a new thing, especially a big pivot in your life, when you have a large pivot, a big change, even if it's becoming a mom or switching careers, getting married, just because when we say change, sometimes we automatically go to the negative, but some even big changes of positive things, a promotion, a new title, a new office, new relationship, like I said, marriage, new baby. All those are fun, exciting moments, but there's still big change to who you are, not just what you do. And I think sometimes we think about the things we're going to be doing in these additions or evolutions or movement, but we don't think about or give enough thought to who we're becoming in those changes. And in 2024, one of the big things for me was I was identifying more with my bank account, which is very, very low for a while after like the summer. And I wouldn't say I was in a panic state, but I didn't know myself as someone who didn't earn a paycheck every 2 weeks. And I was identifying more with that part of me than the part of me who does have the skills, understanding, knowledge, know how to allow me to replace said income and or grow it. And when I'm in certain rooms and I'm having certain conversations and people are speaking on or acknowledging or inquiring more about those said skills, knowledge, and abilities, I'm like, you forget your sensibilities of like the power that you have, the wisdom that you have to offer, the value that you bring, that you can shift the room and or the table. And I think I lost that for myself for maybe the last quarter of 2024 or maybe the last 2 quarters of 2024, where I was so focused on bringing in dollars or um, positioning myself as a thought leader and a winner. And I wasn't focused on serving to my full capacity. Like, I knew that's what I wanted to do. I knew to some degree how I wanted to do that, but that was not the dominant thoughts were about how I'm gonna pay my bills, how I'm gonna eat, how I'm gonna provide. And I think when you operate from where I operate from and you lose that, because this is my source. It's from source then out. It's not I'm the source and I gotta figure out how to put it out. Not just the knowledge and understanding and skills, but God is my provider. He called me to this. So to do this work, I know that what I'm capable of because I know who built me. I know that my father is going to make a way no matter what the situation is. So in the big pivot, I was identifying more with my lower self. I've never done this before. What are people going to say? What are people thinking? People were actually already telling me what they were thinking. um, and some people were, very, very kind and sweet, and it came from a genuine place. But because they never seen it done before, or because they believe in the, for lack of better terms, normal way of doing things or having a job and getting a paycheck, versus, and not just, or entrepreneurship, have a plan, have a cushion, then jump out. And instead of looking at the fact of, I wasn't jumping out because, oh, I just want to be an entrepreneur. I was following God. I was saying that I was trusting God. And I took my eyes off of that to try to help other people be comfortable with the decision God was inviting me to make. And that wasn't my job. That was not my job. The decision that I needed to make, that I did make, was between me and God. And although other people became aware, obviously, that I wasn't working anymore at a particular job, I was still working. I was still earning an income. I was still trusting God. I was still doing what He sent me here to do. But I took my eyes off of that. I took my eyes off of, He is my source. I took my eyes off of, this is a journey I said that God invited me on. And even if it looks crazy, like Noah or Moses or Peter stepping off the boat, I still needed to follow the instructions that I was given by God. And I was worried about pleasing people more than I was worried about pleasing God. And that's where I made my first mistake. So, um, no longer wanting to operate in my lower self. Obviously, I wanted for the highest good for all, which is me operating at my best and staying connected to God, no matter what it looked like. Even when it did look like, oh, it wasn't making sense, it wasn't making dollars either. God is still in control, and my responsibility was to just follow His instruction. Whatever the last thing He told me to do was to do it, because no matter what looks like the norm or the logical thing to do, when you are operating in faith, when you are operating according to alignment and the word, it is going to confound the wise. That's the Bible. And we are a peculiar people, a holy nation. And I needed to get back to, what did He put in me? He gave me opportunities to learn and gain all this information that I have, all the understanding. He helped me heal throughout all of the trauma and pain that is my expertise, is my lived experience, that helps me now coach and support and teach and transform my clients. Why would I be concerned about the people who didn't call me? Why would I be concerned about the people whose assignment this is not? Why would I be concerned about the people who does not have my instruction? Even if they love me, even if they're sincere, even if they have my what they believe is my best interest at heart, it's just like Peter, when he, didn't want Jesus to go to the cross, and Jesus was like, Satan, get thee behind me, I have a work to do. And I know you're not comfortable with what that outcome is going to be. You're not comfortable with what that decision is going to look like. You're not comfortable with what that moment in time, for that brief time, will look like. But my Father has a plan. My Father has a redemption story. My Father is going to raise it from the dead. But you don't know that yet. But it's not my job to convince you that that is going to be okay. My job is to execute the assignment that is set before me. Now, I'm not calling myself Jesus by no means. But I'm just saying, when we're thinking about making other people comfortable with what we're assigned to do, that's not our job. When we're making other people comfortable, we need to just get comfortable with trusting what God has told us to do, and letting the fruit remain so that God gets the glory, so they can see what He has called you to and where He is taking you, whatever the outcome or the results or whatever that is. And part of that is them being able to witness it. The best Bible or sermon is your lived life in your faith. So I had to remember how valuable I was, not just in the work that I had done, not just in the things I had accomplished, the amount of money that I raised, the amount of money I earned, the skill sets and things that I have helped people accomplish, but how valuable I was to God, how valuable I was in the kingdom, how valuable I was in executing what He has assigned me to do. And once I started thinking about what does that look like, what did I tell him? Like my dad asked me when I first stepped out and I was like flailing a little bit and my knees were shaking. My dad asked me, as I mentioned on some previous episodes, do you do you trust God, or are you not trusting God, or are you not trusting yourself? And I'm like, I'm not trusting myself. And he's like, okay, I just wanted you to say it out loud so we both could hear it and be on the same page. I had to trust me, that the choice and decision that I had made, it wasn't about people. It wasn't even about me. I never want to be where God was. And God was calling me to my next. And if I had stayed in the position that I was in, I wouldn't be able to see what now he is connecting me to, how he is opening doors, how he is changing lives, how he is changing me. How's it impact? How this change is impacting my family? My children are different for witnessing what I'm walking out, and that is the greatest. One of the greatest rewards is seeing my kids evolve along this journey with me. The conversations we have about life, faith, and entrepreneurship, and what it looks like to have a 9 to 5 and build something and invest and grow holistic wealth, not just dollars and cents, but how are we going to leave an impact on this world? What is our legacy going to be? How are we going to impact our bloodline? How are generations after us in this family? Whether we talk to the people who are watching every day or not, whether they ever mention or buy a thing or whatever, people are watching. I just did a video yesterday on here, a short clip on my YouTube channel saying people are watching whether they click like or not, whether the vanity matrix add up or not. People are watching, even when you are doing something exciting or when you're not. People are watching. They are witnessing you live out loud when you are doing something, especially something that's not usually done the way you're doing it, or you make a bold move that either they wish they were had the bravery to and courage to do, or the understanding of why is that important, or what will be the impact of the thing you're doing. They're watching. They may not click like, they might not share, they might not subscribe, and they might not buy, but they are watching. So whether you embark on something huge and shift your whole trajectory of your home life, your career, whatever, or you make small changes every day, remember who you are and whose you are. Because letting go of the parts of you who need to step into that thing, that was another big piece for me. Was it's the unlearning and the unsettling of losing your balance when you say things like I never did this before, or I don't normally do this, but it's because you're changing, you're evolving, not just the move you made, but the person that you are becoming. Parts of you are not necessary in this next phase or this next room. I'm moving away from saying letting those parts of you die, because those parts of you shaped you too. Those things that you're no longer participating in have been key to you moving into the next thing. Like, you have decided, I don't like what this type of belief system or these actions or behaviors are offering me. I want something else over here that's better for me. So I am going to make a different decision so that this result is no longer the result that I end up with. I want a better result. So survival mode is not with the things, like, they're tools, because I was doing a whole series a couple of years ago talking to friends and coaching around the tools that my trauma taught me. There are some things you pick up. I'm able to have certain conversations in every room because becoming a chameleon and hiding in plain sight, now my belief around it and how I use that tool now helps me in benefit in thriving. not necessarily in hiding and being in survival mode. Like before, I was hiding. Now I'm using it to be able to meet people where they are. So you see the difference. I don't say let that die. Don't ever pick that up again. Don't use that. There are things in survival mode that will help you thrive in another season. So think about that. Like what I just said, I was a chameleon when I was, in foster care, growing up, hiding because I didn't want the trauma or the conflict. And so I would blend in to whatever setting I was in at that time. But that was to fade to black, not to be seen, to silence myself, to hold things back. But now I use those same skill sets to be able to speak to people in the boardroom, in the bedroom, in the basement, at the club, the park, wherever I'm at, wherever whatever I'm doing. I'm able to meet people on the level that they're on. I'm able to have a conversation with different age groups, different thought mindsets, different career paths, different thought ideas, different strategies. I'm able to fit into those spaces and make an impact, not just fit into the spaces, because you can fit in the space and never be of any use to anybody. You can come to the space and never be of value. But I am now in the spaces to make sure that my impact is felt, where before I was hiding and not showing up as my full self. So those different, just to flip the coin and see what in this season can I use that I learned from my past. And there is going to be some instability, some shaking, some nervousness, some imbalance, because it's a new foundation, it's a new path. Where you were walking before on solid, flat, hardwood floors, now you walking on gravel or sand or something a little different until you get your assuring of how that feels under your feet. You gonna wobble a little bit, but once you get your foot sure, it's the work is not hard anymore. Like you can enjoy it. Now you understand where you're going. Now you understand the world that you're on. Now you've connected back to your higher self. Now you understand, okay, oh, I need this now in this season where I didn't need this before. I'm walking this out over here because it's a little uncomfortable, but I know that on the other side of this discomfort is going to be the goal, the thing that I've been working towards it. And the learning is not, it comes with its own set of adjustment, but the unlearning is the more difficult work. Unlearning poor habits, poor behaviors, poor belief systems, that is the part that you have to, yes, do I want to get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning all the time? No. But if I get up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, I know I get to spend this time with God. I know I have my day set up where I'm not feeling anxious or rushed. I have all the tools I need. I have the understanding and clarity that I need to be able to go into my day with a successful mindset versus rolling out of bed at the very last minute because you want every ounce of sleep you could possibly get. And I am team sleep. I will take a nap in a minute still at 50 some years old. But the decisions that we're making, setting yourself up at night for your day tomorrow, sitting down with your planner before you go to bed or right after dinner, looking over your next day, and knowing what the idea is for the day. I don't like to say, everything is going to just go the way you want it to, because God forbid, but it happens. People go to sleep and they don't wake up. But knowing that God giving you the opportunity to open your eyes and function again the next day, you have an idea and clarity of mind of what you need to accomplish. So now you're waking up with the idea of getting your workout clothes on or sitting down with your Bible and or both, making sure you have everything you need, making sure the transactions that you'll have to embark on you're capable of making sure that your family is set for that day, making sure that you have given them the proper information to start their day well. All those things matter, but it's the unlearning. I used to do it this way. And even though things work, like sometimes we think because we have success in an area or it's working for us, that's just the way to keep doing it. And it's not. You have to be mindful that you have success and significance, but then you have to stretch. Like, what is the next thing that will take me to another level? And I'm not saying like hustle culture, grind, or whatever. I'm saying we're multipliers, especially in the kingdom. And the success here should continue. You should continue to elevate in whatever way. You should be evolving. Even if it's not doing the same thing. Maybe in this season you were a 9 to 5, or now you're an entrepreneur. In this season you were single, now you're married. In this season you had no kids, now you got three. Change is inevitable. It's going to happen. It comes anyway. You, as long as you keep having birthdays, you're gonna be a year older. And the more you grow, the more you grow, the better you get. Something in my eye. But you have to allow yourself the grace to unlearn as you learn. So unlearning where I know caffeine contributes to inflammation. So I'm not drinking it as much. Now I know sugar impacts my arthritis. So I cut back a lot of sugar and sweets and things, and trying different alternatives, and having a set amount of times I can have coffee or tea, or what types of coffee and tea I can have, switching it out from matcha instead of having a regular tea or coffee, deciding on different things, making sure I have 3 to 4 days a week where I only eat fruits and vegetables, not having as much meat. All those things are unlearning. You got to have bread with every meal, is how I used to think. You do not. I still don't drink when I eat my meal, so I get all the nutrients of my food. But they say like you'll feel fuller faster if you drink with your meals. But when I'm trying to get in a nutrition from all the food that I have on my plate, as far as my vegetables, maybe I don't want to drink as much with my meal, or having a warm cup of something with every meal or after dinner to help my digestive system. Like, all those things are things I've learned and unlearned. Like the thought process of how you were raised, what you did, your conditioning. I have a coaching program called Calling versus Conditioning, and it helps me teach my clients that just because you've been doing a thing a certain way, like I said, even though you're successful, even though that's how your mother always did it, even though that's how you were raised to do it, even though that's how you were taught in school to do it, even though this is the way you've always heard everybody else say to do it, doesn't necessarily mean that that's the way you're supposed to keep doing it. Maybe it's not serving you in this season to do it that way. Maybe you don't have all the information you need to for it to be effective in your life this way. So you have to question, what does the very best look like for you? Not for what's being within this season, in these 5 minutes where you are right now. What is the very best for you? How are you showing up as that very best? Unlearning, putting things down, shifting the coping mechanisms from survival mode to the things you need to thrive, your attention span. What are you feeding yourself? What are you consuming? And how is this impacting you? Not to lose yourself and or your balance anymore, but to really look at, okay, this is a new thing, but I do have capabilities and skills that will get me through this. I am capable of changing the trajectory of my life because I am choosing to change my decisions. Those are things we need to look at when you make a big pivot, when you start over and you want to identify what your highest good. What is my highest good? And my highest good is asking myself, what is my very best in this season? Not necessarily, well, this is how I've always done it, and it doesn't look like that, so I must be doing it wrong. No, it means that you're learning, you're growing, and you're giving yourself the best opportunity to be successful and significant. Like success and significance go hand in hand. They are not, it's not either or, it's both and. I am successful at this, so it will be significant impact made because I have been successful at it. And even if you have a missed opportunity or you didn't quite hit the mark that you were going for, the process, the process, falling in love with the process. Check my previous video on YouTube about the joy in the process. The joy in the process doesn't determine the outcome. Is it the excitement of learning and getting better at a thing? Is the excitement that you want to build momentum off of, not just the win. If I took a L because I didn't get that deal, I took a L because I didn't quite meet that routine that I was setting, or the consistency in my content, or showing up and on my team at work, and our project wasn't the one that was selected. But the process, did you gain any data from the process? And whatever data you gain from the process is feedback for you to now go out and kill it again the next time, and or make changes so that it's more impactful. It doesn't always have to be pretty to be productive or to have purpose. So I know in 2025, now I am serving from my highest good for the higher good of all. And I know that my identity is not in my bank account, what I drive, what I wear, not even who I'm married to. My identity is found in God. And I have to keep reminding myself of that every week so that I don't get caught up in looking at what didn't go the way I wanted it to, or my schedule got away from me, or whatever the thing is that may not have completely landed perfectly. Or that when I am successful and I do hit the mark and I do make the money and I do close the deal, my identity is not found in that either. That is great. It is an accomplishment. I'm cheering for myself. I am grateful. But my identity is still in Christ. Millions or barely making it, God is still in control. So remember that the next time that you are embarking on something new, that you're looking at changing how you earn or how you invest or how you attract, and know that your surety is found in God. If that's who you believe in, because I believe in God, Jesus Christ. But your identity is not in the things. It's not in the way people respond to you. It's not in who shows up. But your identity is in the one who created you. He made you. He did not make any mistakes. You are called according to his purpose, and you need to get with him to find out what that is and show up as that and in that, knowing that your confidence is in him. That is my time today. I am glad that I was able to share with you all, and I hope that you are encouraged. If you heard anything on this episode that inspires you or resonates with you, please like, share, and subscribe. My newsletter link is in the description. I do have a free download for you when you sign up that's called Say What You Mean and Mean What You Say, that will help you with your emotional vocabulary. So in these new seasons, you know how to express yourself well and get the connections and communication clear so that you can be significant in all that you do. So with that said, until next time, as always, love well.